Evening, research nerds. So, in this lesson, we're going to look at the simple idea of writing as thinking. Often people wonder why we need to write as clearly and as well as we can. Why do we need to be as best as absolute possible? And largely that's because writing is not just a way for us to allow other people to understand what we think, but it's to help us understand what we ourselves think. And I want you to reframe writing as an activity into something that's going to help you think as opposed to just help you being understood. So this is your vocabulary. If I can just get you to pause the video here and write these down so that you've got something to refer to. And if you have never seen this concept before, the peel paragraph, I'm going to get you to look that up as well when you're finished here. If you know what that is, peel, teal, same deal. If you know what they are, golden. Otherwise, make sure you look that up before you come in, as we go on as well. And so just pause it here, and we'll continue when you've got this all written down. All right. So I assume we're done now. Let's have a look at what's next. So here is the first thing we're talking about in how writing helps you think. So writing as clarity. So writing illustrates out clarity. In other words, it shows us how clear our thinking is the way we understand an idea. If we write about it, that'll show us if it is to the point and succinct. Writing allows us to clearly see our train of thought. This can be really important, right? If we're talking about something which we're claiming is true, or making a claim about something, if we're able to write about it, we can actually see if point A does indeed lead to point B. Whereas when we're just talking, sometimes our brain skips that point in logic, even if it's there or not. Sometimes we'll just skip it because, as far as we're concerned, we know it. But if we don't articulate it in writing, it makes it hard to see, how we got from point A to point B sometimes. And with that, it gives us a chance to see where the holes in our thinking are. And that's really important as well, because you don't want to be out there making claims which aren't necessarily true. So it's like, however, learning how to think. Learning how to write properly is like learning how to think. So the more clear our writing becomes, the more clear our thought processes become. And the more clear our thought processes become, the clearer our writing becomes. And then we become easier to understand both by ourselves and other people. And one of the things we will do is we'll strip away really flowery prose. So when you're using like a really long sentence to say something really simple, we're nearly always going to go for simpler, clearer writing. And one of the things you'll find in both great literature, particularly modern literature, and academic writing, scientific writing, research writing, so that whole gamut, simplest is nearly always the best. Writing helps us to understand with clarity. That's why we write. Well, that's one of the reasons we write. So one of the important things is that we need to have structure in our writing. We'll see that a paragraph has a topic sentence, body sentences, and ending sentences. That's a really stripped down version of the peel paragraph or teal paragraph. But an essay kind of has the same structure, right? And if you look at a book, it kind of has the same structure as well. It has like a intro, the body, conclusion. So it's all kind of, humans have kind of built this structure of communication and language over many, many years. And this is how it works. It kind of sort of, it fractals out. It starts off small and gets bigger and just repeats itself as it gets bigger. So our structure, peel, introduction paragraphs, conclusions, and so forth, we use these structures because they help declutter our ideas. They help us to sort of sort through it and put them in order. Structure moves our thinking from the mind map phase to a linear phase. Both of these are important phases, but when we move from the mind map to the linear, we move to this more sort of causal type thinking. This thing causes this to happen. And writing helps to build our understanding and knowledge. And it does this by sort of building new and reinforcing old neural pathways, which is really exciting. And with that, that means that writing helps us to remember. So here's a bit of expert advice. Any word you have to hunt for in a thesaurus is the wrong word. There are no exceptions to this rule. This is from Stephen King. You may not love his stories, you may love his stories, but no one really argues the fact that he can write. And he makes a good point. Simplicity is the key. I hope this made sense. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. Subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything we put out there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye now.